that one podcast you were over here like throwing lightning bolts and fireballs at everybody. This week you're over here pulling out your berry dust, trying to sprinkle it on everybody's team.
Bunnies. Think when I talk about your teams now, guys, I want you to think Easter. Just bunnies, light colors, sun, spring. All right. Well, hello everyone. This is week 3 of the League podcast. So week 3 is in the books.
Yeah, man. It was a fun week.
Yeah. Podcast is a day late, but yesterday was a little rough. So we're doing it a day late, but here we are, week 3.
Yeah, we are. And Malcolm, usually on the Skype video, you're wearing all your red, bright, yellow, ugly-looking Chiefs stuff. But today, Malcolm has a little bit different garb on. He's donning the all-black Missouri hoodie, all-black hat. Sort of looking dark over there, brother.
Yeah. Usually at funerals, people wear black, right? That's how I feel about my fantasy team so far this year. I'm in a dark place, Kyle. I'm in a very, very dark place.
It looks like it.
0-3, last in the division. At this point, I'm willing just to literally get rid of my entire team and trade them away to everybody and just get a whole new team. Because at this point, I don't know what's going on. So today I felt like repping black for the funeral that my team is, the disaster it is. So,
well,
feel kind of in the dumps.
At least you got the Chiefs. They
hey,
what?
Yeah.
The Chiefs look really good. I don't know who's going to beat them this year.
Man, let me tell you, after the ass pounding I took on Sunday, fantasy-wise, I was like, because I had the Ravens winning by 10. I had the Ravens winning by 10. I thought 100%, their defense is going to stop us. We're going to get behind like we usually do and not be able to catch up. But then our defense just played incredible. And I don't want to get too much in the game just because no one really cares about the Chiefs but me. But I do want to say to a fantasy standpoint, I didn't say it on the podcast last week, but I told Thomas and Aaron, okay, I'm like Houdini when it comes to the Chiefs. I texted Aaron because he plays the same day slates, and he always asks me what's going on. I told him play McCole Hardman. That's my dark horse. I think he's going to go off. I think he's going to have 3 or 4 catches, anywhere from 50 to 60 to 70 yards and a touchdown.
And that happened.
Yeah. And so when I called Aaron after the game, I, of course, didn't talk shit. He was kind of bummed out, but I said, dude, that's now every week I've called what Chiefs player that's, going to go off. Now, can you scroll down, Kyle?
Nope.
How many points did he have, Hardman? He had 18.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
That's about what I projected him as. And so he started McCole, and Aaron said, what about Robinson? I was like, he might see more targets, but this is a McCole Hardman game. And I was right. So anyways, that do you want to comment on anything else before we get into the ass pounding I took this Sunday?
Yeah, just one last thing on the Chiefs game. After the game, maybe Monday night, Tuesday morning, the Mahomes, or I guess it's just Patrick Mahomes right now since they're not officially married, they announced they were having a kid. I don't know who all saw the tweet, but they had like the little baby picture type things with the sonogram. Yeah, and they had Lamar Jackson's face on the picture. It was pretty funny.
I did not see that.
Yeah, they photoshopped Lamar Jackson's face. That was pretty funny.
Well, I love Lamar Jackson. I really do. You can't hate the guy, but Chiefs got their number, man. Our defense really played. You gotta give it to Spaggy. He had the game. He had him down. Anyway, so that's going to kind of...
Sort of like your fantasy season, how you're wearing black. Maybe us Falcons fans should be wearing black because it has been rough.
Yeah, Kyle, I wasn't gonna say anything to you just because if I was in your position, I wouldn't want anyone to say anything to me. So I will not talk shit on the Falcons. The only time I came close was when Kevin said, "Are the Chiefs gonna Falcon?"
Yeah.
Woo! I was lit. I was like, wait a second. But I still didn't talk shit about the Falcons, and I still haven't. I want that on this podcast. That the Chiefs did not Falcon. They beat the best team in the NFL at that time, the Ravens. And they beat them pretty bad. Anyway, moving on. So
let's hop into this week's matchups, or last week's matchups.
I'll let you start this off. Fuck this.
Yeah, I'll start this one off. Pretty proud of this one. So week 3, Phillip Rivers Abortion Clinic, which would be you, faced off against the KY Jellies, the defending champs. And honestly, Sunday, I jumped out to a big lead. I was feeling pretty confident. And then you started Michael Gallup and Amari Cooper, and they sort of closed the gap a little bit, and you might have even been winning going into Sunday night. And Aaron Rodgers did Aaron Rodgers things. He went off 24 points, gave me a little bit of a cushion, and then Travis Kelce and Clyde Edwards-Helaire sort of just stayed neck and neck all game.
Yeah, I mean, Trubisky, listen, let me just break down this week real quick on my end, okay? Last week, we'll get into that later. I think I still have the most points against. Okay. Anyway, so Trubisky had 11 points and was doing well. Okay. I started Amari and I started Michael Gallup. Risky move, maybe on my part, knowing McCole was going to go off, but I said, hey, you know what? I got to play them. Okay. So I start Trubisky because Carson Wentz is a complete and utter disaster. And I pick up the Bengals defense because they're playing against Philly. Okay?
Yeah, that one was sort of questionable to me, but yeah.
But it wasn't. But the thing is that so Trubisky, he's got 11 points in the second quarter.
Mm-hmm.
And then he throws an interception, and then they fucking bench him, and then Nick Foles throws an interception. Now, Nick Foles obviously went on to win the game, and I'm not going to talk shit about the Falcons. All I'm saying is that if they had kept Trubisky in, I might have got this W, right? Because he maybe gives me 18, 19 points, okay? Then, the Bengals defense, I'm looking at them, and they're like at 12, 13, 14 points. Carson Wentz threw an interception, right? And even when they went into the fourth quarter and I watched that game, I could not believe they went into fucking overtime. And they played the whole overtime, which means that my defense at some point is going to get scored on. So, I really made the right play picking up the Bengals D because they had an interception and kept Philly pretty low scoring until it went to no one won that game. It went into a completely overtime draw. So, and Matt Prater had 14 points. So,
yeah, and then Hayden Hurst, you had Hayden Hurst, and he disappeared after his touchdown catch.
Oh, man, he got the catch. He's gone. And then Kenyon Drake, 8 points.
Yeah, as soon as the game started, Hayden Hurst, boom, first possession touchdown. I'm like, oh, crap, here we go. Malcolm Steen's about to go off.
And 127 is not bad. The problem is, Kyle, and I'm going to say this, and I'm probably going to get so much shit when people hear this. Your team is fucking stacked.
Well, yeah.
You have the best team by far, in my opinion, in this league. And it's because even your bench, I mean, if someone gets hurt or someone goes down, you've got someone else who's doing well enough to replace them. So, I mean, I could have started Emmanuel Sanders, but why? I mean, he wasn't getting any targets. Anyway, so I feel like that I'm making, again, this is the same thing as last year. I feel like I'm making the right plays, and I'm coming up with either someone going completely the fuck off like Thomas, or playing against you where I make Trubisky start, which in the beginning looked really good, and the Bengals defense would look pretty good until the fucking fourth quarter. Really overtime. I have a W. Mitch Trubisky gives me 20 points. I know Carson Wentz had 21, but like he played 5 quarters practically.
Yeah, and this week it looks like you're playing the quarterback carousel again, right?
Yeah, I think I picked up. Well, I'm not sure if it went through, but I was going to pick up Fitzpatrick.
Yeah, it went through. You got him.
Did I get him? Yeah. So, I mean, again, I got quarterback's my weak spot, right? But then Kenyon Drake's not really panning out. So Clyde Edwards-Helaire is, but Kenyon Drake, I don't know. Anyways, so you got the W on this one.
Yeah, one last thing I'm going to say about my team.
Yeah.
Not being disrespectful to you. I'm just being disrespectful to the league. So,
continue.
Going back to last year, the KY Jellies haven't lost a game since October of 2019. So I've made it a full year, month to month, October to October, without losing a single fantasy game.
Okay, moving on.
Suck it.
Oh!
All right, so we'll move on to the next matchup, which was Kyle Worley, Show Me Your TDs.
You're telling me? Wait a second. Worley's playing fucking Charlie.
Yep.
Charlie beat me the first week somehow in a miracle. And he only scores 80 points and Kyle has 124?
Yep, you would have beat both of these teams.
Give me a fucking break.
So, really, for Kyle Worley, he had 2 or 3 players go off, Mahomes and Eckler, 39 and 30 points. Yeah.
That's it. Weak. No offense, Worley. I'm just saying, like, compared to me, it's weak anyway. God dang.
Yeah, and then you look over here at Charlie's team, and that was just blah.
I mean,
like,
he had...
Besides Tyreek Hill, Saints defense, like, Saints are trash. Why would you even pick their defense up? -3.
We're talking about teams being trash, Kyle. I mean, I'm gonna try to get into it, man, but you gotta really tread water, homie. Okay, fantasy, fuck all shit you want. When it comes to the NFL, I want to be a little quiet, right?
Just say so.
That's funny, but yeah, I mean, this is nothing really to talk about on this one. Just kind of 2 shitty teams playing shitty fantasy football.
But Charlie's 2-1 now. He was one of the unbeaten.
Houseway.
But now he's beaten, so.
It's like Charlie had one good game against me, barely beat me, and then it's like, I'm just going to be shitty now. Again, I'm going to say it another time. I feel like Charlie's being rewarded for being shitty.
Yeah. All right, let's move on. This is, God. I didn't even look at the score until now. And
me either.
Should we even say this? Like, is this?
Pop the molly, I'm sweating. Woo!
Eli's dumb effing face. Oof.
Eli's
178 to Taylor's 75.
2 weeks in a row.
Like, literally put up 100 more points. 100. Taylor could have spotted him 100 points, and Thomas still would have won. Yeah,
I mean, even if basically Taylor could have played Charlie's team and his team. He could have had like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He could have had 20 players and still wouldn't have beat Thomas.
Dude, he could have played his whole bench and he wouldn't have beat Thomas. But that being said, who would have beat Thomas this week? Nobody.
Kamara, I mean, with Michael Thomas out, I've never seen a back get fed as much as him ever.
Gosh, Kamara was eaten.
And they lost.
Yep.
Kamara had 43 points. Connor had 24. Marley had 20. Respectable. Moore had 8. Okay. Tyler Boyd randomly again went off. 22 points. Johnny Smith 11. McKinnon 15. I mean, McKinnon with Gozer out. The guy's, he's eaten, right? Crosby gave him 16 points. Anytime your kicker's giving you more than 13, that's just your week. Except if you're me. And then on Taylor's team,
yeah, to be fair, Julio was hurt. He had Paris Campbell, his big waiver wire pickup, get hurt. Cam Akers, one of his running backs, get hurt. He picked up Jeff Wilson. That was a nice pickup, but he wasn't in the lineup.
Yeah. Yeah, and then these guys, you know, yeah, I mean, Ravens, anybody with the Ravens had a tough fantasy week, right?
Yeah.
Gurley had 15. That's respectable, right? Cam Newton only gave him 10. Bummer. Josh Jacobs, again, this is the second week in a row, right, where maybe, he's not the best first round pick. You know what I'm saying? The second week in a row where, you see him not really being that kind of first round caliber player like a Kamara or like a Clyde Edwards-Helaire, just for some examples.
And so far there is a little bit of, I guess, the rumor mill's heating up, the trade block. I've heard rumors about Todd Gurley being on the trade block, so.
Oh my God. Taylor's offered me how many trades for, he offered me, hang on. I wonder if I think I declined him. I think that we should just I can't see him anymore. He's offered me, I think, 2 or 3 trades. He wanted Robert Woods and he wanted Kenyon Drake, and he's going to give me Todd Gurley and Terry McLaurin.
I mean, Todd Gurley had a touchdown this week. I could definitely see him.
No, that's not the kind of trade I'm looking for. Thomas offered me a really enticing trade. I think his trade was Drew Brees, Mark Ingram, and Jerick McKinnon for Chase Edmonds and Kenyon Drake.
Yeah,
Here's the thing about trades, though, right? I look at trades as this trade benefits me. Okay, what I really look at is, okay, if I give this guy's team these players, what's his team going to look like? Because at 0-3, I'm playing the long haul at this point.
Yeah. And
anyway.
I don't know. So Thomas, he has some people on his team he's willing to trade. So if you're in need, somebody contact him. He'll trade you. I have people on my team I'm willing to trade. Obviously, Taylor has some people on his team he's willing to trade.
Well, and what I like about this year, too, is I really think that this is the one year, and it's a bummer for Kevin, because last year we completely fucked him on his trading, / he was colluding. But this year, everyone's kind of openly trading, and I really like it. It's making it a lot more interesting for fantasy.
We've already had a bunch of trades through 3 weeks. Well, I say a bunch, only 3 or 4, but besides mine that got shut down, yeah. Kevin's wouldn't have got shut down last year, but it was obvious collusion.
Yeah, let's not bring that up. That's a pretty soft spot for all of us still. So moving on to the next match, we had the 2-0 teams playoff, and kind of disappointing. Brandon, kind of getting some redemption from last week. Wait a second, Brandon was 1-1, right?
Yeah, he was 1-1 going into this. Kevin was 2-0.
That's right. And so okay, my bad. Brandon is the one who got some redemption. That's what I was trying to get at. He had a great week. Jared Goff, that's still a solid pick on his part, man. I think he's not getting enough credit for that. Dalvin Cook finally did what he could do. Kareem Hunt, I don't know if I'd be comfortable with the RB2 because of Nick Chubb, but I mean, he had 13. Thielen had 11. Ridley had 16. Fuller had 15. His defense. Let's talk about that defense.
God, the Colts defense went off.
27.
They were making Sam Darnold see ghosts out there.
I'm telling you, Jets are abysmal. I'm so glad I sat T.Y. Hilton. It wouldn't really fucking matter. I lost anyway. So for Kevin's team, Deshaun had 16. Ooh, his running backs, 2-2.
Yeah, so Kevin, he got bit by the injury bug. He's been battling this for a couple weeks. Last week, he was able to pull out the win, but in week 3, it really,
it's karma.
It showed up.
It's karma for him not being a good manager and managing. I mean, I'm not going to hold anything back after the Chiefs gonna Falcon comment. No, I'm just joking. But, Joe Burrow, 20 points. I mean, I know that's a guy I wouldn't mind starting. Kevin, let's trade for Joe, man. Let's talk. Let's talk. I need let's talk.
Here we go. Malcolm hopping back on the quarterback carousel.
I need something, man. That's good. I can't catch a break, dude. I played Trubisky. I'm like, oh, he's going to look good against the Falcons. Wrong. Bench his ass. Anyway.
So this one was 147-74. Yeah, pretty much a butt whooping. And if you look over here, first in the South, so this game was to decide who was going to be first in that division. Brandon won. He's now first in the South division.
Yeah, and I think that Brandon's team looks pretty good too, man. I mean, right now it's from what we've been through so far, I got to give it to you, Brandon, and Thomas. I mean, you guys are kind of pulling away into that. Your teams are really kind of just running off with it so far.
Yeah, and sort of what's scary about Brandon's team is, yeah, he has Kareem Hunt as his RB2, but if Kareem Hunt gives him points in the teens every week, I think he takes that because his wide receivers, Thielen, Calvin Ridley, Will Fuller, not to mention Devontae Adams, who's going to be coming back.
That's terrifying. And when Cohen got hurt,
yeah.
I wonder what his decision was into playing the Colts D over the Bears D. Well, I guess playing Atlanta. Anyway. Yeah, Brennan had a solid week. And here we go. I didn't even know about this game.
Yeah, so this game sort of flew under the radar.
Game of the year, right? Hands down.
Yeah, it could have been. Orangutan Titties and Party Like a Gronk star Joey. And we're just going to, week 1, Joey got screwed. Week 2, Joey got hoed. I don't even know what to call it this week, what the hashtag is.
I got this, hashtag Joey got fucked.
He did. Because, I mean, 102 to 101, and there was something that happened that is going to come to me that happened to Joey, which he would have won this game if that did not happen. I'll remember it, and I will let y'all know, but there is legit something that happened here.
Well, I'm looking at Micah's team. Did he have anybody on the Sunday night game or the Monday game?
He had Harrison Butker.
Who gave him 3 points.
Oh, that's what it is. Thank God I remember this. Okay, so in our league, if a kicker misses a field goal or an extra point, they don't get minus a 10.
He got an extra point.
Yeah, I don't know if this is standard ESPN or if it's just something set in our rules, but in other leagues I've been in, kickers have got minus points for missing field goals. Butker missed a field goal and an extra point, which in other leagues could have possibly given him negative points, and Joey would have beat Micah. Poor Joey.
I'm not saying poor Joey, okay? This is all going to start, and Joey, no offense, okay, man, but this is going to start from when we drafted, okay? He completely, he didn't show up, and not only did he show up, he couldn't really participate, and so I think this is just karma on his point for not, but are me and him the only 2 0-3 teams in the league?
Yeah, we'll get to that in the power rankings, but yes, y'all are
my
the
God.
2 0-3 teams.
I'm in the same category with fucking Joey.
But, yeah, you're in the same category as the auto draft team.
Let that sit in for a second, fellas.
Yeah, I'm just going to let this moment just wash over us.
Let's take a moment of silence for Malcolm. Keep moving on.
So we got Biko, this ain't no dolphin tell, against Don, the African Hernandez homicidal homies, Don Watson. 167 to 129. Biko's your winner.
Biko's your winner. And as my brother, and all the times that we shit on him and how bad his team is, I'm happy for him. I really am. I mean, I really am happy for Biko. In the sense of let's just go down his lineup, man. He's got Josh Allen, 30 points.
MVP Josh Allen, by the way.
I don't know, man. Russell. I mean, let me tell you something real quick. Y'all talking about Russell Wilson MVP, Josh Allen MVP. Y'all forgot about my homies. Went out there 5 touchdowns against the best defense in the NFL. Thank you. Anyway, Josh Allen had 30 points. Right? What a game. That game was awesome. James Robinson gave him 30. And they lost bad. So, I mean, wow, Biko had Jacksonville running back give him 30 and his Dolphins won. Shout out. Mike Davis, 22. Juju, 16. Tyler Lockett, 30. Fucking 7 points.
He went off.
Cooper Kupp had 25.
Bills defense.
0. Dang, man. And then even Don, again, now Don's team is not bad, guys.
No, Don has a good team.
And he played well, 129 points. I think this guy got fucked with Waller, man. And the Ravens defense. I mean, if I'm in his shoes, I got the Ravens D. I know I'm playing the Chiefs, but I'm excited about that.
No, dude, no way I'm playing any defense versus the Chiefs.
I know. Anyway.
Well, Don, Russell Wilson, 36 points. Respectable, very respectable. Aaron Jones, 15. Jonathan Taylor, 12. Mike Evans, 14. Keenan Allen, 30. Darren Waller, which...
Today, dude.
Okay. All right, Darren Waller, he had 2 points, which leading up to this game, he was on the injury report, so I don't know if that's something Don saw. Jerry Jeudy met his projection, 10. It's okay.
We had Noah Fant. I mean, I'm starting Noah, right? If Waller's in the, well, you know what? I can't say shit. I'm 0-3. Go ahead, Kyle.
Yeah, and then Biko's team. I mean, the only weak spot on Biko's team is like tight end.
And he got hurt.
Yeah, and McCaffrey being hurt. Dallas Goedert got hurt, and now Biko's playing the same game you're playing with quarterbacks, trying to find a tight end that's gonna last them.
Yeah, but I mean, you know, Biko can have James Robinson, right? And he could have McCaffrey starting. I mean, I'm kind of on the board with the James Robinson train. Biko, I'm ready for a trade, man. I'm just saying. Want to throw Tyler Lockett my way? Help out. Can I hold some? Can I hold someone? No. Yeah, I mean, Don played a great game, but Biko ended up pulling it out. So, I mean, you got to give it to him. Great plays, great week.
Biko's 2-1, so he's looking pretty good.
Yeah. And really quick before we get into like the points for and points against, my name, Philip Rivers Abortion Clinic, is highly controversial. And as Sunday, and we're into the night game, and I'm on the couch with Nikki, and I'm looking pretty sad. I'm pretty pathetic at this point. I'm not joking. I'm like, so much so that Nikki said, you're ruining fantasy football for me right now. She said, maybe you should change your name. Maybe it's Karma.
It could be, but
I'm going to say this. If I don't win next week, I'm changing my name.
Okay.
Instead of making Rivers plural, I'm going to change it to singular.
You're going to drop the S off.
I'm joking. No, I really am going to change my name.
But that's the great thing about fantasy football is, I mean, the sweat that me and you had through that game, it was nerve-wracking and intense, but that's why we love fantasy football. Sometimes you're going to win those games, sometimes you're going to lose them.
Yeah, I've lost every one so far. So, points for, Thomas is number 1. So real quick before we get into that, Thomas, he had, the highest scoring, team last week. So let's go ahead and listen to what Thomas had to say.
Go ahead, Thomas.
Hey, what's up, guys? It's Eli's dumb fucking face coming in with the highest score of week 3 with 178 points. Managed by your 2018 champion, Thomas Pierda. Before we even get into this, I want to say I'm coming off a 188-point performance last week. Feeling extra hot right now. I know week 1 was a dismal performance, to say the least, on my part. Kyle, you took the cake on that one. Before we get into the roster breakdown, though, I do want to send my condolences out to Tucker's Diddy and all of his players, because they didn't do a damn thing really this week. Sorry, Taylor. There's really not another way to put that. I think Todd Gurley was your only player that might have hit his projected. I mean, when that's the case, it's going to be a bad week. So not much you could have done. Eli's dumb fucking face is just coming to put points up on the board in 2020. So anyways, let's get into the roster. At quarterback, we had Kyler Murray going up against Detroit. My options there were Kyler Murray or Drew Brees. I think Brees actually outperformed him, but Detroit has been absolutely terrible against offenses so far this year. Kyler Murray did throw 3 picks. A little disappointed, but it is what it is. Moving on to running back, Alvin Kamara putting up the big old 40 burger on a Sunday night game. Really doesn't get better than that. As long as Michael Thomas is out, he's going to be catching balls, running touchdowns in. He very well could end up being the highest scoring player this year. James Conner, Taylor's beloved Steelers, kind of did you dirty. Hank hanging up 109 yards, a touchdown, and I think he had like 3 catches for like 30 or 40 yards, putting up 24 points. Super solid outing from him. It's back-to-back weeks for him. Benny Snell not looking like he's going to do too much. So, Taylor, probably a bad pickup on your part, but you know the Steelers better than anyone. So, DJ Moore coming in at receiver. This one I was actually a little nervous about going into the game. I thought the Chargers have a pretty good defense. I know they've had a couple injuries, but DJ Moore was actually shut out this game till like the fourth quarter. And I think Chris Harris Jr. was the main guy covering him most of the game. He went out in the fourth quarter, and then DJ was able to put up some points, so that was good to see. Teddy Bridgewater is actually spreading the ball around quite a bit, so I think DJ Moore is just going to have up and down weeks. Tyler Boyd, not so much. I think Tyler Boyd's becoming Joe Burrow's favorite target. Definitely going to be starting him most weeks, unless it's just like a terrible matchup. 10 catches for 125 yards. I think he's the clear favorite over AJ Green. When it comes to receivers in that offense, I'm super happy about that. Moving on to tight end, my boy Jonnu Smith. 5 catches, 61 yards. Not a huge day from someone that went undrafted, but I did a ton of research on this dude in the preseason. He had a super, not a traditional path to the NFL. He had like his girlfriend poured boiling hot water on him, and he had to miss a lot of his senior year at FIU. So he actually didn't get a lot of exposure. I drafted him in all of my leagues. Delaney Walker's gone out of that offense, and he's someone that they move from tight end to receiver to they throw him screens. They hand the ball off to him sometimes. So I actually have him projected to finish top 3 in tight ends this year. Moving on to flex, Jerick McKinnon. I actually picked Jerick. I picked Jerick McKinnon up off the waiver wire, not this week, not after Raheem Mostert got hurt, but like the week before he got hurt. I was running super low on running backs, so I just went in to the waiver wire, picked a couple backs up, and by the grace of God, Mostert got knocked out. Tevin Coleman didn't play. Fucking McKinnon's the starter. So McKinnon got lead back duties against the Giants in week 3, put up 15. I thought it was only appropriate that I start McKinnon, given that this is a Georgia Southern alumni matchup between me and Taylor. So it's only appropriate that McKinnon started and showed up for this game. Defense, I had Tampa Bay. Denver had fucking, what's his name? Damn, I don't even know their quarterback's first. It's Driscoll. Is it Jeff? Jeff Driscoll? I don't know. But he sucks. So I figured Tampa Bay would do pretty well against them. Tampa Bay is also really good at stopping the run. I know Denver had Phillip Lindsay out. I just don't think Melvin Gordon was enough to beat that whole defense. So they put up 2 picks, a safety and a block kick, putting up 19 points. Definitely not going to complain about that. And then with my kicker, Mason Crosby. As long as Aaron Rodgers is doing his thing, and if he wants to put points up every game this year, I definitely need to have a hand in that Green Bay offense. And if that's through Mason Crosby, that is A-okay with me, considering that he put up 16, which was more than any player on Taylor's, that was more than any player on Taylor's team, excluding Mark Andrews. I'm doing this before the Monday night game. But yeah, that's my team. That's how you put up 178 points. Eli's dumb fucking face coming to put up points in 2020. Week 4, I have the losers. That is not a derogatory term pointed at anyone's team. That's just Charlie's team name that he chose. So I'm calling his team the name that he chose. Anyways, thank you for listening.
Okay. Yeah, so we basically heard a rant from Thomas.
Oh, that was a long rant.
It was like 8 minutes long. We said 3 to 5 minutes, guys. Can we keep it 3 to 5 minutes long? No one wants to hear you talk 7 minutes about why you had.
They want to hear our beautiful voices, not
yeah,
y'all.
Absolutely. Anyway, so Thomas has 454 points so far. You've got, so basically right now you've got Thomas at 454, Don at 443, Brandon at 432, Kyle at 431, and then Biko at 411. Those are the top, that's 6, that's 5 people in the 400. Now, I have 314 points. I'm only 5 points behind Taylor for points 4. Let's put that in perspective, okay? Now let's go to points against. Who's sitting at the top, at the bottom?
So points against, Malcolm 455 points against, Don 423 points against, Taylor 388, and so on and so forth.
But you see what I'm saying? Like, let's say, for instance, if my points 4, okay, is like where Kevin's is at, 287, or where Joey's at, 279, okay? I get that. But I'm like in the middle of the pack for points 4.
Yeah.
So every team that I've played has, like, besides Charlie, which I don't know how the fuck that happened, has gone off. Just want that to be said.
Welcome to fantasy football. It's frustrating though, yeah. I would be frustrated if that was my team.
So done. Anyway, it's part of it. I love it. Anyway, so in the North Division, Kyle, Thomas, Charlie are top 3. I'm last. In the South Division, Brandon, Biko, and Micah are on top. Wow. And Kyle and Kevin, they're all 2 and 1.
Yeah, so 4-way tie right there. So basically just points 4 is the leader on that side.
So you're the only one that's undefeated.
Shout out.
And shout out to Biko. Biko says shout out. Now we're all going to start saying it, so I'm going to give him his credit now. Instead of having to do it like 2 years later when Biko's like, oh. Anyway, I'll be honest. All I got to do is beat Worley and beat Taylor. Charlie's just going to fall off. Charlie is going to fall off. You're not going to be rewarded for being shitty this long. It's just not possible.
I feel like the past 2 podcasts you've been attacking Charlie.
I'm not attacking Charlie. I'm just still mad that I lost to him because I shouldn't have. Because he didn't even care. He's just like blase. He's just fucking starting people and winning, and I don't understand how that's possible.
Hey, my man cares now though.
Who?
Charlie.
He cares now? Why?
Yeah, he's 2 and 1.
Man, I don't give a fuck. I should. Anyway, so now we're going to go into, well, Kyle, I can't. You do it, man. I can't do it.
Alright, so we're going into the power rankings. We do this every week. The last 3 teams, number 12 checking in, Joey. He's 0-3, so that explains that. The least points for. Malcolm, number 11. He's 0-3, the only other 0-3 team, so that's why he's second to last.
Thanks for saying that.
And then we got Worley, number 10, combination of being 1 and 2 and points for there. And then on the bubble, we got Tucker's Diddy, Taylor Davis sitting at number 9, Don Watson sitting at number 8.
Why is Don number 8?
He's 1 and 2.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, these are 2 1 and 2 teams, Taylor and Don. And then you got Charlie, he's 2 and 1, he's number 7.
Okay.
And then the next 3, we got Kevin at number 6, so he took a big fall down from number 2 to number 6, just because his points for is trash.
Deservedly. Karma.
And then Biko sitting at number 5, 2 and 1. Micah, number 4, 2 and 1. And then number 3, we got Brandon. And number 2, we got Thomas. I really wanted to put Thomas and Brandon sort of 2A and 2B, but Thomas's only loss is to me, and he's dominating the league in points for, so I had to give him the number 2 spot.
Makes sense.
Yeah, and then number 1 spot hasn't changed since last October in 2019.
So, Kyle, you don't even know what I'm about to say, and I'm so excited, because we're going to do something different.
All right.
So, I'm looking at this year so far, okay? And I'm going, man, I'm 0-3. So I take Aspen for a hike today, and I'm doing some thinking. Okay? I'm going, why am I 0-3? What's the universe? What's going on here, Malcolm? Come on. So I sit on this bench and I listen to the river. Okay, and I'm thinking, closing my eyes, and I'm thinking about why I'm 0-3. And I got it. Remember when I wished death upon the league with the injuries, and it came true?
I remember this.
I'm thinking in my head, that probably wasn't the best move for me.
You sort of sold your soul to the devil.
Yeah, but I was supposed to be winning. That was the deal.
Yeah, you sacrificed everybody else's players for none of your players to get hurt, and the devil said, "Well, looky here, Malcolm. Since you did that, you don't have a starting quarterback. You're going to play the Pollock, Mitchell Trubisky."
Yeah. So it hit me. I said, you know what? That was the wrong move. And I'm just going to say I apologize to you guys for creating such a ruckus in the NFL for everyone getting injured.
I don't think the league wants to hear your apology now. They just want to see you go 0-4.
They just want to see me eat a bunch of waffles. I'm sorry, so I apologize. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to wish good luck upon your teams. I want everyone's team to do well, even who I'm playing in week 4, which I have no idea. But I really want everyone's team to do well. I hope no one gets injured, and I hope everyone has a great fantasy day. No sarcasm, genuinely mean that.
You've pretty much been through the rocker here this year. So when we had Aaron on draft recap, you're sitting high on your horse. I got the second best team, third best team, whatever it was. You lose week 1. Oh, it's just a fluke. Don't worry about it. I'm going to bounce back. Week 2, yeah, I'm going to win this week. Don't worry. Week 3, you sort of hit rock bottom here. But I like the positivity. I like the positive Malcolm here.
Yeah. I'm still going to talk ish. But I just got to say that, doing some reflecting and the beautiful day it was by the river, I realized I was wrong. And, I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. I really am. So, right now, guys, we are going to go into week 4's matchups. I'm going to highlight the games, what will be interesting to watch. And before we do that, as you guys know, Titans and Steelers, they're not playing.
Yeah, this,
So how's this going to affect fantasy? What do you think, we should do? I mean, what's the right, you're the vice president. Let's give the people an answer right now. What do you think is going to happen? What's going to happen?
First of all, I just got to say that our duly elected commissioner will make all calls and they will be final. But as leader of this leader of this coronavirus task force, the vice president has decided that we got to do what's right here. Like, I've heard rumors that the Steelers-Titans game is being postponed. There's rumors it might be played on Monday, rumors it might be played on Tuesday. If that happens, I think that those points, or whoever player you have that plays on Monday or Tuesday, those points should go towards week 4.
And I don't disagree, but I think that just like in real life, you gamble. We're gambling playing fantasy football amongst the pandemic. We gamble when we go to the grocery store to get COVID. And if it happens, it happens. Knock on wood. Kyle, I know you already had it, so you're good.
Shout out, antibodies.
So what I'm saying is, I think that if they don't play, you gotta figure something out. And if they do play, then tough shit. Because that's how life works. That's what I think should happen. Now, do I have any Steelers or Titans players? Absolutely not. But I'm just saying, I think that you can't have it. You can't have your cake and eat it too in this situation.
Yeah, hopefully.
At some point, more teams are going to get corona, and so let's say that now if it's the playoffs, I disagree. Okay, the playoffs are different. All right, but what I'm saying is, in the regular season, if a team gets COVID and you guys not playing, then you got to find a way to go. That's how life works. So that's my vote. And we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, I get that for like a regular position player, but I have the Steelers defense, which is sort of a little bit different predicament. I don't want to drop the Steelers defense because they're number 2 overall
No,
right
you should
now.
put them on IR. You should put them on IR.
Yeah,
I'm not saying drop your teammates. I'm just saying pick up someone, put them on IR, and then let's move on because we're all going to have to do this at some point in the season probably.
Yeah.
And so what I don't want to happen, I don't want a repeat of Joey got hoed. Okay.
Yeah,
really
hopefully this is a non-issue and they play on Monday night. It'll be a Monday night doubleheader, and
yeah,
those points will count.
Cool. So let's move into week 4 matchups. I'm playing Worley. Okay.
Yeah, right now the projections have Worley winning 102-94, but this is probably pre-lineup setting and all that.
Yeah. That's a big game in the sense of the shitty people because, that's going to kind of determine who maybe be moving up the bubble, get to on the bubble mark. Anyway, so we got Kyle and Taylor. Yeah, you're going to buttfuck Taylor.
That should be a pretty close game in my opinion.
You said, Thomas, Charlie. Yeah, Thomas is going to buttfuck.
How can you bet against Thomas at this point? Like,
Can't.
He's got the hot hand.
Ooh, Biko and Brandon.
Okay.
That might be the game. That's the game of the week right there.
There's a bunch of good games this week. 2-1. Thomas and Charlie, 2-1.
That Charlie 2-1's fake bullshit. That's Fugazi. Wall Street's Fugazi. It ain't real.
Yeah.
Biko and Brandon to me is the best matchup. And then, but see, if Devontae Adams comes back, now he's gonna have Adams, Cook, and Ridley.
And Thielen.
God. Biko, I don't know, man. In this one I gotta root for Biko, but you got 2-1 South Division against 2-1 in South Division.
Yeah, so this game is for first place in the South Division, basically.
Yes, that's what I meant to say. Sorry.
So the number 1 team in the South, number 2 team in the South.
Yeah, that's the biggest game right there. Well, so we'll see what happens. I'm a little nervous for you, Biko, but just gotta make the right place.
And then Micah and Kevin, both 2-1 teams.
Yeah.
Their projections right now are pretty close.
Yeah, that's kind of like end of the year NFC East number, Dallas playing Eagles or some shit. Like, who gives a fuck? Just kidding.
And then we got Joey's high school fantasy Joey's fantasy team playing Don's fantasy team here.
Man, at this point, I'm gonna go middle school. You know what I mean? 9th grade.
Yeah. So this is like 2 middle school teams playing each other, Joey and Don. We don't really care who wins.
Let's just put it this way. Let's put it this way. You know how like on First Take and Get Up, they say like in between matchups who has the most pressure?
Yeah.
In this game, who has the most pressure? Okay, it's not Joey.
No,
it's Don.
It's definitely Don.
If you lose to Joey, you might as well just crawl in a hole, cover it up with mud, and die.
That would be funny. I hope that happens.
Because if Joey beats you, I am not kidding. I am going to come on here next week, and I don't care if I'm 0-4. If Joey beats you, and I would say this about anybody, if Joey was playing Thomas, if Joey was playing you, Kyle, if Joey was playing Brandon or Biko, I would be saying this. If Joey beats you, you got problems. You need to analyze your life, look in the mirror, think of something, maybe paint your skin a lighter color. I don't know. But you got to figure out something. So if Joey beats you, it's going to be pretty bad next week for you.
Yeah, that's not a knock on Joey. It's just a knock on his auto-drafted boo-boo team.
Yeah, not a knock on Joey. It's just that, Anyway, and then look at me. I'm 0-3 too, so shut the fuck up, Malcolm.
Yeah, looking at these matchups, you got a lot of, close matchups. 2-1 teams playing each other. You got, 1-2 and 0-3 teams playing each other. Me and Taylor, our teams, that game should be pretty close. I feel like this week, hot take, this week, I don't think there's going to be a super blowout like Thomas.
I was just going to say that.
I
totally
don't
agree.
feel like somebody's going to win by 80 points. I feel like this is going to be a tough, grind it, sweat it out week for everybody.
Yeah. And that's the thing. It's Yeah, especially with me wishing well upon everybody. By the way, guys, I hope everyone has a great game. Like I said, I hope everyone scores a fuck ton of points. I really do. I hope your team even you, Worley. I'm playing you. I hope your team scores very well. Everyone's team. So hopefully, we have some close scores.
That one podcast you were over here like throwing lightning bolts and fireballs at everybody. This week you're over here pulling out your berry dust, trying to sprinkle it on everybody.
Bunnies. When I talk about your teams now, guys, I want you to think Easter. Just bunnies, light colors, sun, spring.
All right, so that's gonna do it for the week 3 podcast. I hope y'all enjoyed it. Stay tuned for week 4.
We'll see you next week.
See ya.